Am I doing the right thing being a stay-at-home dad? What if something happens to my wife? How could I raise 2 kids on my own? How could I support them? What will I do when my kids are grown up? Should I get an education? Too old to start that. I'm so exhausted. I should stop thinking. I need sleep. Shut up, shut up, shut up! That was my mind pretty much all the time. For my entire life, I've taken pride in my overthinking. I was one of those people who thought that if I worry or think about everything, I would be prepared for every situation, that it gave me an edge over other people, like having a great work ethic, except with thoughts. It took me over 37 years to finally realize that what I thought was my greatest strength was actually making me miserable. The very thing I was so proud of and thought was my biggest asset was actually causing all of the problems and fears in my life. In the summer of 2020, I was faced with a number of challenging situations that I wasn't able to properly cope with, and I fell into a deep depression, a mental void. I had dealt with anxiety for years, but for a period in that summer, I was inconsolable. I just didn't want to exist. I wanted nothing. Out of desperation, I picked up a book on mindfulness, read the first page, started sobbing, and at that very moment, my life went bloop. I didn't know it then, but at that point, my entire outlook on life would be changed, and I would never look back. So what the heck did I learn? Let's find out.
Daddy, 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 Daddy!
The mindfulness movement has been gaining a lot of momentum lately, but there's a lot of confusion with it. It's often associated with, hippy-dippiness, or attached to things like yoga and Buddhism. Things a lot of people don't think they want or need in their lives, but it's not necessarily any of those things. So today, I want to share some of the things it has taught me and maybe how it could benefit you, even if you think you don't need it. If I can just get there, then I will be happy. This was my mindset, and it starts with small things. Once I get that new car or PS5, I can be happy. Then it's, if I can just find a partner or get that job, I'll be happy. Then it moves on to, well, once I have kids, I'll be happy. Then it's, once my kids grow up and I can get time back to myself, I'll be happy. Then it's, once I'm retired and I don't have to work, I can finally be happy. And then you're dead. Meanwhile, during all of that, we distract ourselves to the point where when we look in the mirror, we realize we weren't truly happy during any of it. At least that's what was happening to me. What kind of life is that? What mindfulness has taught me is that since my mind was always working, I was constantly reliving the past or playing out the future scenarios and stressing about them, like physical distress, knots in my stomach. So the only way I could fall asleep at nights was to distract myself in bed, often with podcasts or staying up until exhaustion. On the plus side, I figured because I thought so much, I was able to react very quickly to things in day-to-day life. Again, a skill I thought made me seem sharp, and I was proud of that. That first day I reached for that book, I learned a couple very important things. The first was that I don't have to listen to that voice in my head, especially because it's often wrong. The second was that worrying too much about the future is futile, because I can't prepare for things that don't exist. The third was how to give myself time to react to things and how to properly deal with them in the moment. You don't have to listen to thoughts. There's nobody you spend more time talking with than yourself. Mindfulness helped me realize that I am not my mind. I always thought that I am my mind. So when my mind gave me advice, even when it didn't know the answer, I would listen to it. For example, let's say I asked to meet a friend to meet me for a beer at the bar, and he's 30 minutes late. I would get angry. My mind would say, what a jerk. He values his own time more than yours. I'm on time. What kind of friend is this really? I would literally make myself upset because of my thoughts. The friend would finally show up and says, oh man, I got rear-ended. Sorry I didn't get your message, but my car is totaled. Now I feel bad. But literally 1 moment before, I was the victim. That's what the mind does. Realizing that my mind would and will always work this way was very eye-opening for me. Once I understood that, now when I have thoughts like that, I notice them, but I don't have to latch on to them. You can actually let them go. like leaves floating by in a river. I've learned that my mind will always be working, but that doesn't mean I have to pay attention to it. Worrying too much is futile. What if there's a fire in the house? Which kid do I save first? What if I could only save one kid? Would we watch the house burn down? Where will we stay? Will insurance cover everything? Can you imagine how thoughts like those can make you feel? They make me sick to my stomach. And I had thoughts like that constantly. Try falling asleep when you're imagining what it feels like when your house is burning down. Jeez, how can I predict how I would react to those situations? And what good was it really doing me? What mindfulness has helped me realize is to trust myself in the moment. What you think will happen in the future is not real. And you can't be prepared for things that aren't real. We're not equipped with those tools. That doesn't mean you shouldn't put any thought or be prepared about the future. You absolutely should. But once you're done thinking about that, then you move on. I would just keep replaying that tape over and over and over again. If you want to be successful in the future, or if you want to be happy in the future, you have to start with right now. The quality of your future is determined by the quality of right now. Settle rapid thinking. Meditation is what helps a lot of people with mindfulness. I don't practice it often yet, or I'm very good at it, but I want to practice it more. And here's why I think it's important. If you start the day in a frenzy, just wake up and go, 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 your mind is a tornado of thoughts, so you react quickly to things throughout the day. Driving is a good test for just how mindful you are. Say you are driving and someone cuts you off, or is following too closely behind you. When we aren't mindful, we let our emotions take over. Those emotions then dictate how we behave and we react. If you let it, that sudden burst of anger will dominate your mind and make you do mean things. Now you might want to retaliate to that person and teach them a lesson. Your blood is boiling over, you're angry, you have a one-track mind. That all happened in a split second and maybe will affect you the rest of the day. When you meditate or start the day off really aware, you are letting those tornadoes spin themselves out so that it is calm in your mind. What you're doing is you are buying yourself time for how you react to things. What I realize now is if you can start the day with exercise, meditation, or whatever your form of mindfulness is, this allows you to choose how you react to things. And the more you realize this, the better you get at it. When something bad happens to you, you have three options. You can get angry or let whichever emotion comes out take over. You can do something about it, or you can let it go. So, if someone is following too close behind you while you're driving, you could get mad and slow down, teach them a lesson. You could do something about it, maybe put your blinker on, pull over and let them pass. Or you can accept the situation and let it go. You don't take it personally. The point is, the beautiful thing with learning mindfulness is it gives you freedom. I've learned reacting quickly to things doesn't make you smart. Responding thoughtfully in each moment to the situation without emotion does. The last thing I want to talk about quickly, which has been a game changer for me, is how understanding that all of our past experiences shape how we perceive things or react to things. This is our mind trying to protect us. Maybe you loaned a toy to someone as a kid and they stole it or they lost it. That memory or thought will shape how you loan things to people in the future. Or maybe you tried talking to a new person at school once and they embarrassed you. Now you're hesitant to meet new people. Your whole life is layers and layers of experiences, and those experiences shape how you react and judge things in the moment and in the future. It's like putting sunglasses on sunglasses. All of those past experiences and thoughts limit our ability to truly experience the moment without judgment. So removing those sunglasses and being able to see the current situation can really make life feel special. I've learned how to see things without my past experiences clouding them and how to not make rapid judgments. And it has helped me enjoy life leaps and bounds. Where I would once think, look at that person with those clothes on, they must be weird. Now I think, what an interesting outfit, that's so cool. It's awesome. And what's really powerful is how when a difficult situation does come up, you learn to actually use it as a trigger to being mindful. So now, when I'm driving and someone cuts me off, instead of letting that anger rise up and take over, I use that feeling as a reminder to breathe and increase my awareness of everything else around me. I'll get where I need to go And even if I'm a couple minutes or seconds late, it's not the end of the world. I'll deal with that when the time comes. I'm not perfect, and I have a lot to work on. I still use my phone too much, drink alcohol too often, and I'm guilty of letting emotions rise up and maybe speaking out or saying things when maybe I shouldn't. But I'm starting to understand that being present doesn't mean you have to start doing yoga or become a Buddhist or anything different than in your current life right now, but it just makes everything in your current life better. It helps you enjoy the process of eating food more. It makes you appreciate the convenience of technology. It makes me not take my family and my friendships for granted. Like working out, letting go of thoughts and practicing mindfulness is an exercise. I'm not saying you need to never look at your phone again. Start small. Practice for a few seconds, not to let any thoughts or judgments remain in your head. Focus on your breathing and just notice the things around you. Life is not a waiting game. It's only ever in the moment and happening right now. So instead of spending so much energy on what happens next, I encourage you to spend all of that energy on what's happening right now and making that the best as possible. That's how you make the best future possible too. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to chat about anything else that I talked about today, please leave a comment below or message me on Facebook. I can share some book recommendations if you'd like or help you get started. See you next time on The Sad Life. Where would you fly to? Okay, now let's all go to the left. No, you go to the left, Ellie. You go that way. Okay, now let's go to the other side.
Ow!
Okay, now let's all lean in forward.
How about you guys put your feet together? I'll be in the middle like a cherry.
You be the cherry in the middle?
Dad!